Thank you for the organizers for having me here. So I'm really happy to see so many renewable energy enthusiasts in here. So a little bit introduction on myself. I'm Anam Adil. So I recently defended my thesis 2 weeks back, and I am currently working in Airbus in the zero emission program. So yes, so this is a part of my thesis that I'll be presenting today. Um, so let's move on to methanol generation from biomass. We have been hearing a lot today about biomass. So we'll see what methanol is. So methanol is the simplest of all alcohol, having chemical formula CH3OH. So this slide over here is used to demonstrate how methanol is important in almost all spheres of our life. So it is a precursor in our daily lives, right from the PET bottles that we have to the polyester carpets that we see right now. So all have methanol as the precursor material. And like moving on to that, methanol can also be used as an alternative fuel. So after this, can you change the slide, please? Yeah, so what are the sources of methanol? So methanol can be synthesized from this catalytic conversion process from syngas. So basically syngas is a mixture of H2CO and CO2. So this syngas has various sources, like we have natural gas, coal, and biomass. So this natural gas and coal contribute to about 99% of the methanol that we have right now, and only 1% is through biomass. So I'll be highlighting on this a bit later in the slides. So can you just, yeah. So right now, so if we want to produce methanol in the country from biomass, we need to know the status of the methanol in India. So as you can see from these slides, the methanol consumption has increased in past 6 years, and also it has like various comparison between the consumption, the net import, and the domestic production of methanol. So we see here over here that the consumption of the methanol is mostly met through imports. So yeah, and we have like very less domestic production of methanol. Can we move on to the next slide? I'll not be highlighting much on this because I think Mr. Dharmendra and Mr. Rohit did a very good job in highlighting the importance of biomass in the country. So as like just to put up a number, we have almost about 400 million metric tons of biomass that is surplus, and this surplus biomass is mostly goes into incineration process. And like the incineration, as you know, already adds to the adding on the air pollution problems in the country that we have. So it is even compared to smoking like 15 cigarettes, because the PM 2.5 is already very high in the country. And so this is also a cutout from Times of India, where it says that 26% of the air pollution is contributed because of biomass incineration, which even goes to the value of about 42% during the harvesting season. So moving on to the advantages of methanol generation from biomass, we see that our country has a lot of biomass potential, and we need to channelize it in a proper source. So methanol production is one of the sources. As we know that methanol, as I had already stated from the previous slide, that methanol we are mostly importing. So we can like reduce the country's reliance on methanol import by domestically synthesizing methanol. And this would also provide new job opportunities in the country. As per the Niti Aayog, will be providing almost about 5 million new jobs in the country. Okay, so after this, we'll move on to the challenges. As I said, only 1% of the methanol is produced from biomass. So there might be certain challenges to it. That's why we're not exploring it. So what are the challenges? So quickly moving on to a number called as the stoichiometric number. So this number is close to around 2 for an ideal hydrogen to exist in the syngas. But the biomass source has S number of less than 2, whereas the natural gas, which is majorly used for methanol generation process, has a S number higher than 2. You can see from this slide, the graph on the, I hope you're able to hear me. Yeah, the graph on the right-hand side, it shows that the biomass is hydrogen deficient, whereas the industrial industrial syngas composition is hydrogen excess. So there is very little work done in this area where methanol is generated from this lower hydrogen containing syngas. Uh, so towards this, what I did was I first developed a model. So this was an Aspen-based model, which is an advanced software for process engineers. And in this, we consisted of three major units. We had a gasification unit, we had cleaning unit, and a methanol reactor unit to see if the process is feasible or not. So after this, the model itself consisted of various reactions incorporated in it. So these are the couple of reactions that I had incorporated while developing the model. And the model was also validated for various kind of biomass compositions. So you can see the proximate and ultimate analysis values of the biomass, as well as the food waste, the coal compositions that was capable of handling by the model itself. These are the results. A very interesting result was observed, as in the model that I had developed was not just capable of handling different kind of biomass compositions. It was also showing better results when the error values were compared to the previous existing model. So this is one of the slide demonstrating that. So when I said there was little investigation into the lowest number syngas for methanol generation process, so when I looked into the literature value, there were no literature comparing that. So I had to do an experimental investigation in a high temperature, high pressure reactor setup. The methanol was produced by such low S number containing syngas, and the value was validated with the model results, and the values were the error results were quite low, and hence the entire process could be used for biomass to a methanol generation process. Yeah, next. I'll not go into the more details of it, but these are certain parameters that I had investigated. So one of the important terms that comes in is the equivalence ratio, the steam to biomass ratio, and the temperature of the gasifier itself. So the entire B2M process, by B2M process, I mean the biomass to methanol generation process, had to be optimized in order to get a better methanol result. So one of the difference from my experiment, my work, was that we used a low S number containing hydrogen. We did not go for a cleaning. We did go for a cleaning process, but we did not go for a conditioning process, where the external hydrogen would be used to increase the S number. So we had went for a lower S number containing syngas for the methanol generation process, and by this process, we obtained optimized methanol yield of about 37.77% at these temperature, steam to biomass, and equivalence ratio conditions. I would like to conclude that as all of us have been saying over here, that a decentralized approach is what we are looking for the methanol generation process or any other SAF process, or because the biomass resources that we have, it's not like the coal and segregated to one place, but it's diversified, and then we need to have a decentralized approach so that we can harness these technologies and we have a better utilization of these resources for an ultimate end renewable fuel. Say, for example, methanol in my case, it could have been SAF in some other cases as well. So there's a hope of generating methanol from biomass, and it would reduce the dependencies of countries' import on methanol, produce new job opportunities, and decrease the air pollutions. This is all from my side. Thank you.